Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News, the show that may or may not be 5 minutes. Today in the news, a topic that's come up a lot recently, Game Pass. Be it Sony's recent takes on the idea of a Game Pass with day one launch titles never happening on PlayStation, or Xbox straight up refuting that claim with numbers showing how well it's doing, the idea of Game Pass has been coming up a lot lately in the news. And all sorts of people are chiming in, like Ed Fries, former Xbox exec, who expressed concerns about the concept. Speaking in an interview with Xbox Expansion Pass, Fries, who was part of the original Xbox launch team leaving in 2004, was asked what he would do if he was still part of the gaming team today. While he didn't give any specifics, he did say that he was scared of the impact Game Pass could have should it become something like Spotify. When Spotify took off, it destroyed the music business. It literally cut the annual revenue of the music industry in half. It's made it so people just don't buy songs anymore. Which, editorial note here, has been rebuffed numerous times by various studies, because at the end of the day, people will still buy good music. He went on to say there's so many examples of games going into a sub-service on one console becoming hugely popular, and that has caused a spike in normal $60 sales on other platforms. There is industry concern about what might happen if subscriptions became dominant, like they have in music and TV. The subscription model doesn't necessarily generate the revenue needed by AAA games, particularly single-player games with no microtransactions. You can see why Sony is reluctant to put its latest releases into PS Plus. Now, I don't know what you think, and I'd love to hear it in the comments below, please. But to me, this screams of that, like, I was in games in 2004, and that's where my mentality is. It reminds me of myself dealing with YouTube, for example. And I started in 2010, and the YouTube of 2010 is different from the YouTube of 2022. And I am adapting and changing and being forced to change to keep up with it, right? And I think this guy is like, what if we took it back a few years? That's the vibe I get off of this, is he's in a different market space. Because right now, Games Pass has 25 million users. The users on Games Pass play games 40% more than your average gamer, and they spend 50% more than your average gamer on things just in the gaming space in general. So to me, the math doesn't add up that it's gonna hurt the industry. In other news, this past Friday, poor Norman Reedus gave up the Kojima goose with some Death Stranding 2 news. In an interview with Leo, the Death Stranding actor said, "We just started the second one," before diving into how he got involved in the first Death Stranding. Now here's the fun part, Death Stranding 2 hasn't even been announced yet, or even hinted at by Kojima. So in his own delightful way, Kojima tweeted this series of photos of where I believe he murders Norman Reedus with a baseball bat. But then they're friends afterwards, so it's all good. I expect similar plot twists in Death Stranding 2. And while we're talking the crossover of TV and video games, it looks like at the end of this month, we're gonna see something. I'm not sure what exactly, something about the Final Fantasy IX animated series. Final Fantasy IX, the second best Final Fantasy, is getting shown off this week at the Licensing Expo in Las Vegas. The best way to think of a licensing expo is it's like a bunch of execs and PR people taking around things they're hoping to join in partnership with other people, and money, and spend money, and make money, and money something. It's all about licensing and agreements and that kind of thing. It's how stuff finds its way to your TV or internet or whatever. The sad thing is, while all these articles mention a Final Fantasy IX show being brought there, little's actually discussed of it. No images, no synopsises, nothing. So I'm assuming they're just kind of starting on it right now, but I'm pretty hyped for it. I really want to see Vivi and all the characters. It's a great game, y'all. Anyway, it's Monday, so it's time for new releases. Tomorrow, Hard Space Shipbreakers finally gets a full release on PC. Become a space salvager and cut up massive starships for bucks while trying not to die in the process. Live the average daily life of a person deep in debt. It's like your life, but in space! Thursday, Sniper Elite 5 blasts a hole in your head, one that we can see with cool X-ray effects too. Sneak once more behind enemy lines in World War II and blast some Nazis in the face. And just for fun, shoot Hitler in the balls. It's hilarious every time. And on Friday, take a trip back in time when a little yellow mouth eating ghosts was all us kids needed. And we were happy with it too. Pac-Man Museum is here. Play the classic games and new wild and wacky ones. New wild and wacky Pac-Man. Damn kids these days have it too good. In my day, we only got chased by ghosts walking uphill in 6 feet of snow both ways. Speaking of both ways, I don't know what that means. Patreon.com/Jesse Cox, where you can hang out with amazing people like Austin Luthie, Craig Walker, and Harlow. That's it for the show. Thank you so much. Here's the start of another week of 5-Minute Gaming News. See you tomorrow.